Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to card number 4 in my series Homemade Techniques, where I am using items found around the house to make cards. I actually made several cards using used tea bags. So I used the tea bag and then I took all the tea out of it, rinsed it off, let it dry, and this is what I was left with. This tea bag is extremely durable. You can use heat, you could use water. There's so many different things you can do with it, and I made cards using all different mediums. Your tea bag is going to have a different look depending on what type of tea you used. The English breakfast that I used had a very light stain, and the chai tea bag that I used had a much darker stain. So this is the one with the chai tea, and I'm going to use my penny black stamp here. I'm going to ink it up with some VersaFine black onyx ink. And everything goes through the tea bags. So I put this scratch piece of paper behind to make sure that I would keep my craft mat clean. And then I'm going to put some clear embossing powder on it, and I'll heat it to set it. And it actually sets extremely quickly and it doesn't warp at all. It's really quite amazing what these tea bags can do. With this particular card, I'm going to use some Peerless watercolor in the background. So I'm going to put some water on it, and I have Forget-Me-Not blue, and I'm just going to drop the blue in. I just want a light tint of blue. I do want to keep it looking like a tea bag, so I want it to have that tea stain on it. I was impressed with how well the watercolor worked on the tea bags. The only medium I used that I was not successful with was the Zig markers, the watercolor markers. They did not want to blend at all for some reason. I'm not sure why. So what I did was I applied them directly to the tea bag, and then I tried to blend them out, and they just didn't want to blend. But anyway, so the Peerless watercolors work beautifully, and I'm just going to work my way around this flower. And I'm being sure not to move my tea bag at all while I'm doing this. And the reason why is because it is going through to my craft mat, and if I move it, I might get some on the flowers, and I don't want to get any on the flowers. When I'm done watercoloring around the flowers, I'm going to carefully pick it up, and then I'm going to have leftover blue on my craft mat. So I'm just going to kind of dip the bottom and the top in there, being careful not to get any, hopefully, on the flowers. But it's okay. I'm actually going to be coloring this with some opaque markers. But anyway, I just wanted to get a little bit more color off to the side, but not too much. So that's why I did the dipping. So I'm going to put this off to the side to dry. And I'm going to be using Chalkola markers. These are kind of like paint pens, but they're chalk. They work fantastic on black cardstock. I did a card with that, and I'll link to it. But you can see the tip looks very similar to a paint pen, and it works the same way. So you shake it up, and when you want to get more ink coming out, you just press it down on your paper. The only thing I wish is that they came in a thinner tip. I actually have a set that's even thicker than this, but I wish I had a thinner one. But anyway, it really doesn't matter because my area is not too small and it fits in there. So I'm going to color all my leaves, and because it's opaque, it's going to cover any blue that I did get on the flowers. Now I will get it on top of some of the black, and you can see I touched it with my finger and it came off. But what's more effective is to take a tissue before it completely dries and just kind of dab it a little bit and rub it just on top of that black portion, and it comes off. So I'm going to have that same issue with the green. This is just a really bright green color. I'm going to color in the leaves, and I'm going to cover over that line down the middle. But then I'll grab a tissue and I'll remove the color on top of that. I'm going to put that off to the side to dry while I work on my card base. I'm using Stampin' Up! Crumb Cake cardstock and a white gel pen, and I'm moving very slowly with a ruler, and that's the best way to apply this gel pen. And then I always wipe my ruler in between because you'll get all sorts of smudges because it takes a while to dry and there's some stuck on your ruler. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides, and I always go all the way to the edge on all 4 sides. It just makes it easier. And then I'm going to take my tea bag and use some Ranger Multi-Matte Medium, and it's a glue that dries matte, so you're not going to get that shiny look if it comes out the side. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the very top of my tea bag. And I decided to mat it on a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock so that it would pop a little bit more and you'd be able to see those tea stains. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put some Scotch foam tape and pop it up on my card base. And that is going to complete the first tea bag card. So I'm going to show you the rest of the ones that I created. I didn't put sentiments on any of them. This came out so pretty with just the subtle watercolor in the background. And I have another one that I used. This has my English breakfast tea bag. It's not actually the Tazo tea bag. And I used Prismacolor colored pencils on it. This next one is actually the Tazo chai tea bag. So you can see it's got more of a tea stain. I colored it with Copic markers, and the white is a Prismacolor white pencil. And then finally, I used my Distress crayons, which is the first time I've used them. And all I did was color the tea bag with the Distress crayons, and then I just went back and forth to blend the colors with water. And then I just stamped with some black ink on top. And so anyway, those are the cards. I hope you enjoyed this fun technique and you'll try it at home, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.